Welcome to The Balance Era, a podcast for the women rewriting the rules. Here, we leave behind the pressure to be perfect and step into a life built on self-love, softness, strength, and intention. I'm your host, Madison, a former overachiever, fitness girl, and lifelong perfectionist, learning how to slow down, show up, and trust myself again. Each week, we'll be talking about what it really means to live in alignment, from body image and burnout to confidence, femininity, and chasing big dreams without losing yourself in the process. This is your space to breathe, to feel seen, and to remember you don't have to choose between ambition and peace. Welcome to the Balance Era. You're right on time. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Balance Era podcast. Today's episode is going to be a little bit more relaxed than the other ones. I don't have a set structure that I want to follow with this one. I just want to share different mindset shifts that I have learned about and adopted, and think that they are really helpful and beneficial because they have helped me. So I just want to dive right in. I have a list written out of a few different ones that I just wanted to talk about and share with you. So let's get it going. Okay, so the first one is the fear of being perceived. And I just made a TikTok about this yesterday. The fear of being perceived is essentially the fear of people being able to see you for who you are, and the fear of judgment, because what we don't realize is people will have their own story about you no matter what you do. So you could be someone that is a great person, you act with great intention, but someone is always going to make you out to be the bad guy in their story, and that's just how it is, and you don't have control over that. So the sooner that you can realize people will think about you however they want to think about you and you don't have control over that, it's kind of like freeing in a sense, because you realize you can do literally whatever you want to as long as it's good with you and you feel good doing it. You can be whoever you want to be, because people will talk either way. And so that is something that has just helped me with being a content creator and just pursuing different things that I have wanted to pursue, because I was so scared of people judging me and making fun of me and laughing at me and all these things. But I realized, like, people will judge you for whatever you do. So you might as well do what you want to do and be judged for it. So that's the first one, is to just let go of the fear of being perceived. All right, next I want to talk about how I get to choose better thoughts, and so do you. So our minds are so powerful, and the thoughts that we speak to ourselves are so powerful. And if you have bad thoughts, it's going to create bad vibes in your life. But the lesson in this is that I get to choose better thoughts. So if you are feeling lost and sad, and if you're just beating yourself up constantly and just you don't feel confident and you just feel like bad, you get to choose to make better thoughts and to think better thoughts and to choose a more positive outlook on life. And I think once you realize that, like, no one is coming to save you, and you need to kind of switch this mindset for yourself to just be kinder to yourself and have more positive self-talk. Like, it's all on you, and you get to choose. Okay, the next one, I am speaking to all of my fellow perfectionists out there, because I understand your pain, but you need to let go of needing to be sure about something, like 100%, before you try something new. And so for me, I always wanted to be, like, perfect at whatever I was going to do before I would do it, which led me to then not doing things that I wanted to do because I didn't feel like I was good enough at it. And what I've realized with, I'm just going to keep using the content creation example because that's, like, what is most applicable in my life. But with content, like, the more that you do it, the more, like, the better you get. Because when I first started doing Instagram and making try-on haul videos, like, they would take me so ridiculously long to film and to edit and then refilm because I didn't like how it looked. And I know that I mentioned this previously in one of my other episodes, but when I first made my fitness Instagram, I made it in October of 2021, and I did not post on it until February of 2022 because I felt like I didn't know enough about how to post content, and I wasn't trying. I just didn't do anything because I felt felt like I just would reach a point where I would somehow, in some way, learn how to do it, and then I'd be confident enough to do it. But after I waited those 4 months and I started posting, I realized that I immediately got the hang of things once I started doing it. And so action is the best thing that you can do in any of these situations. I am someone that would overanalyze everything, and I would get stuck in analysis paralysis where I'm trying to research everything about everything that I'm trying to do, and then just spiraling into this abyss of information, and then not doing anything about it because I'm literally paralyzed by all the information out there, and I just kind of psych myself out. So that goes for anything in life. If there's something that you want to do, don't wait until the timing is perfect, everything's perfect, you think that you know everything about it before you try it, because I promise you will learn as you go, and that is so much more powerful than waiting until you feel like everything is perfectly lined up, because I don't think that moment will ever come, especially if you're a perfectionist. So yeah, just try something new, and you don't need to be perfect at it. Another mindset shift, I guess, that I've made recently is I can create the life that I want, and it does not need to make sense to anyone else. For so long, I have been someone that cared so much about what everyone else thought that I was doing. And when it came to making decisions with what I wanted to do with my life, I would weigh out how it would look to other people before I would make decisions. And this is not talking about anything morally, is this a bad decision, being bad morally, but just how does this look, since it's not the traditional way to do things? What are people going to say about it? And it's the same thing with being perceived. You have to realize people will have their own opinions about you and what you're doing, no matter what. So again, you might as well live the life that you want to live and do the things that you want to do, because either way, people will think things about you and have their own stories about you, and you can't control that. And so it's just a freeing feeling to realize that you can literally do whatever you want. You do not have to do anything. You don't have to follow the traditional route and do these things that you don't want to do if you don't want to do them. And you can try new things and explore, and just life is too short to just follow the cookie cutter route, and that's just not what I want to do. And there have been times where I'm oh my gosh, life would just be so much easier if I just settled down for some corporate job, because then it would look better to other people. But I realize the more that I think that, it's people pleasing, and it's doing it for other people and not for me. And I'm I need to just follow my bliss and keep doing what lights me up, and that will continue to expand and lead me to where I'm meant to go. Another topic that I wanted to touch on is self-love and self-hate. Essentially, it takes just as much effort to hate on yourself as it does to love yourself. And when I realized that, I realized how much of a waste of time it is to be having these negative beliefs about yourself and negative self-talk, and just being a bully to yourself. Oh my gosh, it takes the exact same amount of effort to say nice things to yourself. And I know that it can be hard to transition from being your biggest hater. You might not even realize that you're doing it, but being your biggest hater to being your biggest fan. But life is too short to not be your biggest fan, because you are the main character in your own life, and you need to see yourself in that way. And that's not being selfish or arrogant, but it is true. We are all living our own lives, and we are all the main character in our own lives. And when you realize that, and you can embody that energy, and just stop wasting time being so mean to yourself, because that does nothing for you at all. All right, next thing that we're talking about is gratitude. I am someone that does gratitude journal entries every single day, just writing about what I'm grateful for, the clean water that I get to drink, the roof over my head, all of my loved ones and their well-being, my ability to move my body, all these different things. This is something that I practice every single morning, and I wanted to touch on why practicing gratitude is so powerful. Essentially, when you are practicing gratitude, especially in the morning time, but at any time in general is fine, it shifts your mind from lack to abundance. So instead of looking at life and being like, man, I'm not where I want to be yet, or I don't have that thing, like, oh my gosh, this sucks, my life sucks. Like, it can be so easy to get into a spiral like that. But when you switch to a mindset of gratitude, you're like, oh my gosh, I have a healthy body that I'm able to move, because some people don't have that. Some people are bedridden. Some people are paralyzed. Some people are not able to get up and move. So the fact that you can even get up and move your body today is such a blessing. Same thing with the clean water that you get to drink. Like, we take that for granted so much. Some people don't have access to clean water. And so when you can start to switch your mindset and be like, oh my gosh, like, I am so blessed, I'm so grateful, it switches your mind. When you are practicing gratitude, it activates your brain's reward system, and so it increases dopamine and serotonin, which are both of those feel-good chemicals that we feel. But the more that you practice gratitude, the more that your brain is just going to look for things to be grateful for, which puts you in that higher energy and allows you to just bring more goodness into your life. I also want to talk about romanticizing your life and what this even means, because it's something that I do, and it just makes me enjoy my day-to-day life, like, every single day. Romanticizing your life is essentially just being very grateful for the day-to-day moments that you have. So for me, I like to romanticize my morning routine. I journal and meditate and read every single morning, and it has become like the most sacred time in my day. And so I love it. So I will wake up, I light a candle, I make my little beverage. I either do coffee or I do tea. And then I get all cozy in my little desk area, and then I sit down and journal and read. And I meditate before I come out, so that's before this. But when I'm out at my desk journaling, like, I just set the vibe with the candle, with my warm drink, and I just get cozy and just journal. And I can do a whole different episode on what I journal about and how I journal, because it's something that I do every single day, and it helps me so much. So I can do a whole different episode on that. But I also love to romanticize my walks. So instead of viewing your daily walk as like a chore that you have to do, for me, it is a way to reconnect with myself. And so I get really excited for it. For me, my walks are just my way to reconnect with myself. And so especially after a long day, I am so excited to go on my walk, because I know that is my time for me. So I can walk and I can be in silence. Like, after having to be around people all day, I can just be in silence. And that is my favorite thing ever. Or if I'm wanting to learn something, if I feel like I want to learn something more, that is my time to put on a podcast or put on a YouTube video and listen to it while I walk, with something that will help me to expand my knowledge, because knowledge is power. And it is, like, I think everyone should learn something new every single day. And that is my time that I really dial in on that. It's either on my walks or when I'm driving. I'll listen to like podcasts or YouTube videos about something that I am really interested in. So recently that has been neuroscience and quantum physics and all these different things that have to do with our mind. But I look forward to my walks every single day, because I see it as time to pour into myself, whether that is that quiet time that I mentioned, where I'm not listening to anything and I'm just walking and being in my thoughts, or I get to learn about something that I want to learn about. And so, yeah, that's just like, it's finding fun in your day-to-day moments. Same thing with like my pre-gym ritual routine, whatever you want to call it. I will get all ready, and then I'll put on my gym outfit, and then I usually eat like 2 dates as like a pre-workout snack. So I'll have my dates, and then I will have a Celsius if I'm doing like a lower body day, and if not, I'll just have like liquid IV. But I have a little drink that I get to go with me, and like on the car ride there, I listen to music that like pumps me up and gets me excited for the gym. And it's all about just finding ways to enjoy these day-to-day tasks, instead of being like, oh, I should probably journal this morning because like I need to check it off my to-do list, or oh, I still need to go on my walk today. Like, I can't, I have to go do this. And same thing with like going to the gym. Like, oh, I have to go get a workout in. First of all, you get to get a workout in. Like, you are blessed with a healthy body and a body that's able to move. One tip that I learned that has really helped me, I learned it last summer or 2 summers ago, I can't remember, but it is writing out an achievement list, because so many of us think that we're behind because we haven't reached certain goals that we have for ourselves, but you never really take a minute to look at what you have done. And so it's really empowering if you sit down and you're like, write in your journal, write down big things that I've accomplished and smaller things that I've accomplished, but just like things that I have accomplished in my life. And it's really empowering to just look at all the things that you have done, because it's so easy to look at, things that you want to do in the future and things that you have not done yet and feel discouraged. But if you can take a moment to just reflect on all of the things that you have done so far and how far you have come, it is so empowering and kind of snaps you back into that mindset of, I might not be where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I used to be. And that is so empowering in itself. The last little mindset shift / lesson that I've learned in my 20s and I want to share with you all is to stop treating your 20s like a checklist. Because the social clock has put in our mind that we need to start our careers and have our kids and get married and do all these things, buy a house by the age of 30. And if that's what you want to do, that's fabulous. But if that's not what you want to do, don't get stuck in that. Like, there is no pressure to check all these things off, because then what? You hit 30 and you're like, okay, well, I've done all these things that I want to do. Like, now what? I still, like, you're barely even you're a little over a quarter of the way through your life. And you like have already checked off all these things that you wanted to do. Like, that's just not it. So do not live your life by the checklist that society has put into our minds, because it's just not the way to do things. I saw a TikTok the other day, and I can't remember where he saw it. It was Higher Wellness, I believe his name is, like his @name is, on TikTok. But he was talking about how you get to the end of your life, and it is revealed to you the life that you could have lived, and like if you lived up to your full potential and did the things that you felt called to do, like it shows that life that you could have had. And then it shows the life that you did have, because you chose not to follow your bliss and you chose not to take the risks and you chose to live your life for everyone else and not for yourself. And he was just talking about how scary that is. Like, you get to the end of your life and see what your life could have been if you just focused more on you than like what everyone else thought about you. And that just really stuck in my mind, because like I mentioned, I was someone too that cared so much about what everyone else thought about what I was doing, that I put too much emphasis on what everyone else thought about what I was doing and not what I thought about what I was doing. But when I saw that video, I was like, oh my gosh, like, life is too short to be doing things for everyone else. If you want to do something that's different than what everyone else is doing, do it. Like, you can learn, you can grow, you can evolve. But I think it's better to learn from taking that risk, as opposed to learning that like later in your life that you probably should have taken that risk because that was your time to do it. And especially in your 20s, like, you are young and free and you can do whatever you want to do. And yeah, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I just think that like we need to have a little bit more fun in life and not take ourselves so seriously all the time. And I speak for myself as well, but it's so easy to get caught up in like what we should be doing and just like the day-to-day life of like present reality. But if you have a bigger dream for yourself, like, it's not out of reach. You can do it. So stop trying to talk yourself out of doing it and just take some action and trust that like if that idea is in your mind, it's in your mind for a reason. And yeah, that was a little bit of a tangent, but that's just something that I have been thinking a lot about recently, and I just wanted to chat about it with you. So that is all that I have for today's episode. I know it was a little bit shorter than the other ones, but this is all that I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to have a more casual conversation this week and just talk about things that were on my mind, because all these different mindset shifts and just things, I guess, that we're thinking about have been on my mind, and I wanted to share them with you all and hope that you can implement some of these in your life and to stop putting such an emphasis on what other people think about what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it is your life. You are the main character and you get to do what you want to do. So have a great week, and I will talk to you all next week.